Now I remember thinking the next day, man, that was scary, and going into the gym and telling everyone like, it actually ended up making my. So I decided to enter one of these 4 week, 4 week, 6 week competitions on bodybuilding.com, and I want to get in the best shape I can, and it's in a relatively short period of time. So sort my diet out, everything, get working out, and I'm dropping body fat pretty good rate, starting to look probably the best, on hindsight looking back, I've ever looked in my life. And towards the final stages, there's something that you can do to make the fight. There's certain things you can do to make the final picture look better and look leaner and look fuller. And what this is in a nutshell, you are manipulating. So once you've lost the body fat and the body fat's low enough so you can see your muscle definition, there's additional steps you can take to make your photos look better. And this is based around water weight manipulation and electrolyte manipulation. So in the final run up to the final shoot, so obviously I've took my before pictures, and now I am basically wanting to get these after pictures looking the best they can. And so what you start doing is what I did was you start lowering your sodium levels, you start increasing water, and you start messing around, in a nutshell, with your water and sodium. And then you mess around and you change your carbs, and this can manipulate it. The carbs can fill your muscle glycogen up so your muscles look fuller, and then manipulating the water and sodium, it tricks the body into draining the subcutaneous water above the muscle. So the illusion is that you have filled this muscle up with carbs, which also store water, stuff like that. And then by being lean enough and draining that excess water, you can basically look ripped. Okay, so look more ripped, look more fuller, look more drier. So what happened was, I was going through a day of, I had basically eliminated pretty much the majority of my sodium, and I was increasing water. Now, that night when I was asleep, I remember waking up, and I was like the only way I can describe it was I was like on the verge of panic, and I rushed into the kitchen, and my body was telling me to eat these something called Snacker Jacks, and these Snacker Jacks are like corn crisps, and they're very high in sodium and salt, and they are a simple form of carbohydrate. So simple carbohydrate raises insulin, and that will shuttle the sodium into the body. Now this is what my body instinct was telling me to get, and I was eating them. Now, on hindsight, what had happened was I had drastically, obviously, altered my sodium balance in the body, possibly to a dangerous level, which caused me to wake up in the middle of the night in like a panic, rush to the kitchen and basically get sodium down me and try and realign these electrolytes. Now I remember thinking the next day, man, that was scary, and going into the gym and telling everyone like, it actually ended up making my final pictures a lot worse. I ended up looking quite scrawny. I ended up looking very thin and stringy, and don't know how to describe it, but I didn't look good. I looked better in photos later when I had been eating normally and I was lean. So that's one aspect of how this can, if you mess it up, you can actually make your pictures look worse.